Really sharp practice today. We got a bunch of guys that don't flinch, which is just a testament to their character and how they handle things. So it's impressive how they go about their business. And 3:30 Eastern Standard Time, we play a college football game, and we got a bunch of guys who love to play college football. And we'll have 11 guys on the field ready to go. And I said a very disciplined group of guys that handle things very well. They love to play football. We love coaching them, and couldn't be more proud, as I've said in the past, of how they're handling some things. There's always things you always want to improve on and get better, and wish things were different in the game. But when you get guys that give this type of effort, very, very happy with it. So happy with where we're at. Got a lot of work to do. Obviously, we're playing a fantastic football team. I think number 3 in the country, and deservedly so. They could easily be a 1 in the country. So I have a lot of respect for their head coach and how he has built his team and how they handle things and how his offensive coordinator calls the game and has built his team. So a lot of work ahead. But go ahead, fire away.
Jim Harbaugh called Blake Corum maybe the best running back he's ever coached, at least at the college level. Where does he stack up as far as backs you faced this season, maybe before?
A lot of similarities. I never want to just name and rank someone that he's 1, 2, and 3, but I know this like that. There's no one better. He might be even with some people, but there's no one better than what he is. So my respect for him is very high. So I think what Coach Harbaugh said is 100% accurate. The thing that stands out, first of all, is durability, the number of snaps he's taken, and to be able to carry and be very healthy with it. He doesn't miss cuts. He does a great job with the football. He's very competitive. So he does a lot of everything really, really well. And so obviously we have our hands full. We're kind of used to that now. Seems like every week that we have our hands full with someone in that nature right there. But he's a special talent, and I have great respect for him.
What does it mean for the way you guys have to play to not have Myles and his leadership, his experience?
Yeah. Well, I mentioned this before that Myles, I felt, has made a dramatic improvement in tackling. He had 14 tackles, and I had him in on 26 other ones that he was involved with, and so he's done a very good job of that. So losing him is a big piece of us that's going to hurt us. On that note, the young man made a mistake. He's taken it extremely serious. We know how impaired driving has affected people throughout the world, and he's very serious about it. He knows he made a mistake. We're not taking it lightly, and we'll handle it the right way, and it's being handled internally. But like his coach said, he'll be suspended for this game, and like I said, he is devastated on how he handled himself in that situation. And again, but across the board right there, we are very aware of how devastating impaired driving is.
Do you know who replaces him?
What's that?
Do you know who replaces him in the starting lineup?
I do. Yeah, I coach that position, so it helps. Yeah. So I'm aware of that. Yes, I was at that. So obviously we'll get 11 guys out there. The first thing, we will have 11 out there. But we have some good options for us. Phelan Sanford's played a lot of football for us in that area. Deshaun Singleton is somebody that can play corner and at the safety spot. So that's a plus. And then we've been training all year long. Jaden Gould, a true freshman. So he's been getting reps with the twos. It just hasn't come up in these past couple games for him to be able to play. So we feel good with where we're at. Like I said, we have guys that are ready to go, but it's a great challenge for them.
When you're going against these teams that are so good at running the ball, what's the thought process about getting the nickel in versus getting that extra lineman?
It depends on kind of what they do, how they've lined up with the number of tight ends they have in the game. They have a very unique situation in that they really play 4 tight ends. They'll play 3 tight ends together several times during the game, and then sometimes they're just in normal 11 personnel. But they have, with 84, he's kind of an ex-offensive lineman, so he's a really good blocker. But they have guys that can do everything. So their group of 4 tight ends are very impressive, and so we have some different looks to be able to create, to be able to get the best guys on the field, to be able to handle everything, stop the run. And that's the key to everything, obviously. And it's not so much stopping it is ability to control it, and then not be able to let the play action pass game get out of it, because they're very, very gifted at that area. The quarterback does a tremendous job at their play action pass, and all the tight ends and the diversity they can create with that.
What has Phelan Sanford done to move to that position to start against Michigan?
Well, the one thing, the reason he's there is because he's earned the right to be there. And so he's done an incredible job with work ethic. He played, like I said, a lot in the Purdue game when Buford went down with the injury. And so he deserves the credit for why he's playing, is because it wasn't like well, that's all that's left situation. He's earned the right to be in that spot. He's one of our more talented young men when you just talk about athletically. If you just look at how he runs, what he jumps, what he does in those situations. And then he's just played a lot of football now. He hadn't played a lot of football before. He had played a lot on special teams. Well, now he's getting a lot of reps. So that builds his resume to be able to play in this game.
Ernest is getting a lot of snaps. How have you seen him holding up as he goes through his first Big Ten grind and maybe where he is compared to even a month ago?
Yeah, very impressed with him. It is a lot for a true freshman, and then especially it's also a lot with the style of offenses that we're playing. But that's a big difference when you have 330-pound guys rolling off the ball at you. And so, but he's handled it extremely well. I think he's really starting to enjoy it a lot more. I think because now it's starting to slow down to him. His work ethic is exceptional, and he's also got an exceptional coach in Coach Rude and how he's developing him. So Coach Rude deserves a lot of credit for why he's being so successful also.
Another one on the nickel. And what have you seen from Gifford? What has he kind of improved at in the last couple of weeks?
He's been playing very well for us, and we had some opportunities also to substitute in and try to get Jay Wright in the game and have a chance to get Omar Brown in the game also. But then a lot of that times they were playing in base defense, and that wasn't able to get him in. But so Gifford ended up taking the majority of the snaps in that last game, the last couple games. He's been doing an extremely well job. Again, I think the game slowed down for him. He's done a nice job. He's really good in the run fits. He can cover tight ends man to man, and he's very, very, he has a high football IQ.
Michigan put 418 rushing yards.
That's a lot, Sipple. That's a lot of yards, man. 418 yards. That's a
That felt like.
and especially, the part that was disturbing about it was that the talent level that was on the other side of the ball. That Penn State's extremely talented football team. They're not missing out on their players, and so they, like I said, I thought their scheme that Coach Harbaugh had was really good for them. They had some multiplicity in different ways that they changed gaps and had pullers and different things for us right there. So they have a lot of zone game, where last week was all zone against us right there. These guys have all that. Then they have a lot of gap schemes. They're going to have counters. They have powers. They have a lot of, so gaps change and things move. So sometimes when you're in pressures or different things, it's kind of like, a lot of times it's like one school band's playing, you're just not sure which one's going to be, and like that. So sometimes things hit really well, and sometimes then hits really bad. And so those are the scenarios you're trying to avoid in defending these guys. So there's been some teams that have done some, have hung in there with them on some things, but again, our strain on the run fits is very well thought out, and it's something obviously that we strain to learn every day in practice.
You guys are big underdogs heading into the big house. How do you think your defense's mindset has been during the preparation process?
Zero difference in any of that. It's just we're just playing a talented football team, and we attack the scheme with what we have to be able to get done and what their accountability is. And right now, our guys, they're in the. I've mentioned before, our players are up in our office all the time. They're in the hallway. They're around. They're watching film together. They're constantly coming into the room. If we're in a meeting, they'll come in, stick their head in. So they're constantly preparing themselves to play on Saturday. So no different like that. There will be, because that stuff I learned that really, really fast, is like that, some sort of, we're not watching Hoosiers or something before the game, like that. We're just going to get 11 guys out there and line up and play defense.
Their quarterback, McCarthy, what have you seen from him? He obviously wasn't the guy a year ago, beat out the starter from a year ago. How have they kind of evolved him, and are they a lot different with him than they were a year ago?
They're really not a lot different at all, Sean, but what I've noticed about him is that obviously he's calmed down a lot. It seems like last year he came in kind of as a running quarterback. Here he has full command of the offense to do everything. Throws the ball really well. He's got, he can really zip it. He moves out of the pocket. One of the things that probably stresses me the most about him, besides just him when he throws the ball, is that his escapability. So he has so many plays off of somebody does a decent job covering, pass rush, finds a crease, takes off. It's over and over. He probably has 2 or 3 a game on third down, first downs, or big plays on second down, and he takes off running. So that's a big concern, because he has that. He can go really fast right now. So those extra yards, but they all count. Sometimes it's third down, they rush, and he scrambles. Everybody's like, oh, no. It's like, no, they count. So you have to defend everything. You got to be able to defend the pass against him on third down, and then his ability to run also. And the quarterback run game that's designed to quarterback run is always difficult, but you have a better chance when he just finds a crease and goes. So a lot of concerns with him right there, but obviously he's grown up a lot.
This may be a better question for the offensive side, but I'll ask you anyway. How much of a difference, or when you scheme against an opponent like this that has as much talent as they obviously do, how much is your work affected by their talent versus just relying on what you do best as a defense?
There's a little bit of both to it, but you want to always attack everyone. If you do something really extra based just on talent and just not on how they're lined up scheme-wise, that's when you'll get yourself in a lot of trouble. And so with our guys is you have to be able to have answers against these guys, and you want to be able to answer it very clear so they know it. And so it's like, what happened? Here's what happened. Here's how it's fixed. Got it. So you don't want to go through a game where all of a sudden it's just like, man, there was this, and we didn't get it adjusted on the sideline or those things. So that's why you want to keep things, basic like that, to be able to understand this is going to be our fits. Here's where we're going to be. Let our D-line play. Because a lot of times right there, and every team there was always going to be movements and slants and different things right there. But again, their old line coach is really smart, and they've blocked movements before too, and they usually block those things pretty well. So you just want to be able to just do what you do with it right now. And I've been, like I said, we always want to be better with what you're doing, but right now our kids are fighting at a very high level on defense. We just got to be able to do a couple things better. Last game we got off the field really well on third down. I think they were 3 of 11, so that helped us give us a chance on some different things. But we just got to do better, across the board to be able to give our offense the ball back. And we didn't get any turnovers last week, so that was a struggle for us.